advice that Shock G gave you before passing?
He said, don't feel guilty about having a lot of unfinished ideas, because the beauty of having unfinished ideas is that when you get really busy, you have ideas that you can use. Like, you know how motherfuckers say a lot of people have the sophomore jinx, or they say, because they say your first album, you spend your whole life making your first album, then your second album is like what you got now.
Right.
But the part that people don't mention is that it isn't that all of a sudden you ain't got nothing to say. It's that if your first album, because when people say that, they talk about people that have a big, successful first album. So once that first album success comes, you run around touring, you're doing interviews. Like, we've been talking for an hour, right? And that's an hour I wasn't making beats. That's an hour y'all weren't doing whatever y'all, other things we do. So point that I'm making is when you get busy, you have, you're traveling, you're touring, you're performing, you're doing interviews, you're doing press, you're talking to the label, you're discussing business plans, as opposed to sitting by the lake thinking about some fucking idea for a song. So he was saying that if you don't, instead of feeling guilty, like, oh, I didn't finish this, I didn't finish that, you actually have shit stashed away that are ideas that you haven't finished, that are like dope, potent ideas that you could later develop. And he said, so when you get busy, instead of being like, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to, I need an idea. You have ideas. So that was a big one, because he said, you probably feel guilty about it. I was like, yeah, I do. And he's like, we all do until you realize this. And I was like, damn. So that's a big one, because a key thing in general in life is guilt weighs humans down so much. And if you can find real ways to not, like reasons to understand you don't need to be guilty about certain things, like to feel guilty about certain things. If you understand that, it's such a freeing thing. And that thing right there really freed me up,